My friends and I, growing up, used to play this game called Ding Dong Ditch. Do you remember that game? This prank probably wouldn't work so well today in neighborhoods that are filled with doorbell cameras. But we lived in a time before such technology existed. Our parents, first thing in the morning, would send us off unsupervised to terrorize the neighborhood. Play with our friends all day long. Here's the basic premise of the prank. We would go up to an unsuspecting person's door. One of us would sneak up as quietly as we possibly could. The rest of the friends hiding in the bushes to witness the entire thing. Then came the moment of truth. Someone would ring the doorbell and then run away as fast as they possibly could. Hours of entertainment for us. Hours of annoyance for the rest of the neighborhood. In the last few months, I've been doing a study on prayer in the New Testament, and something jumped out to me. I wonder how many of us, myself included, have treated prayer like this prank. We come to the door long enough to knock or to ring the doorbell, and then we run away as quickly as we can back into the busyness of our lives. You see, I've been incredibly convicted by the verses encouraging a persistent and continuous prayer practice, by the examples in the lives of the apostles and the early church. One such instance occurred as the disciples returned to the city following Jesus' ascension. We'll pick up the story starting at Acts chapter 1, verses 12. Then the apostles returned to Jerusalem from the hill called the Mount of Olives, a Sabbath day's walk from the city. When they arrived, they went upstairs to a room where they were staying. Those present were Peter, John, James and Andrew, Philip and Thomas, Bartholomew and Matthew, James, son of Alphaeus, and Simon the Zealot, and Judas, son of James. They all joined together, catch this, constantly in prayer, along with the women and Mary, the mother of Jesus, and with his brothers. So Jesus has just ascended to the right hand of the Father, a position of total authority and power. His followers witnessed this incredible experience firsthand. Before he would no longer be physically present with them, he promised the disciples he would send them the Holy Spirit. He told them to wait in Jerusalem until he did this. And as they waited, the passage says they were constantly in prayer. It was in this in-between time of prayer, unity, and fellowship that God prepared their hearts, prepared their community for what he was about to do in and through them. Pentecost was about to happen. It has been noted that some of the greatest Christian movements in history were preceded and accompanied by seasons of fervent prayer. I get the feeling that this might be a time like that for us today. I think many of us play ding dong ditch with God because we live our lives filled with so much stuff that we don't have time to do anything else. This pandemic has been horrible in so many ways, but what if God has used it to teach us something? Here's what I believe has happened. Our lives are disrupted. Our schedules are cleared, and we've developed a deep longing for things to change. What if now is the time to pray for an outpouring of God's Holy Spirit in and through us, his people, his church, as we proclaim the life-saving and changing message of Jesus Christ to the people he's placed in our lives? My challenge for you today, this week, is to grow in your prayer practice. Each day, carve out some time. Maybe for you, that's 5 minutes several times throughout the day. Maybe it's 30 minutes in the morning or evening. What if our regular prayer practice began to echo that of the apostles and the early church as they awaited Pentecost? What if our prayers became a plea for the Holy Spirit to move in and through us? doing what only He can do. What might God be up to in such a time, a waiting time, as this?